Okay. Elie has a new book out. It is called Allow Me to Retort, A Black Guy's Guide to the Constitution. We love the title. You talk about what rights we have, what rights Republicans are trying to take away, how to stop them. That seems to be the most helpful part of this, right, is that you talk about what we need to do. So talk to us about that and about the book real quick.
I mean, obviously, we need to take the court seriously. We need to take the court as seriously and as life or death political struggle as the Republicans do. And when we have a chance to put people on the court, to expand the court to whatever, we need to put liberals on the court, and we need to have an understanding what that word means. Right now, we're in the situation where Biden's going to nominate a person. There's lots of, we're the Democrats, so we can't all fall in line. So there's already fault lines being drawn around the person and their potential qualifications, their potential personal histories. And it's interesting to me because all of this stuff is kind of backwards looking in terms of like who these people have been for the first 50 years of their life, and not what kind of decisions they're going to issue for the next 20 or 30 years of their life, right? And so my book is really about like what does a liberal justice even sound like? What is the operative difference? Because most people don't know. Most people can't tell me the difference between Stephen Breyer and Samuel Alito in terms of like actual judicial philosophy. And most people certainly can't tell me the difference between Stephen Breyer and Ruth Bader Ginsburg, other than like one like the ladies. Like that's all they really get, right? They don't know what an aggressive defense of, aggressive attack against Second Amendment, unfettered Second Amendment rights looks like. They don't know what an aggressive jurisprudence around police brutality at the federal level would even look like. And they certainly don't know what it sounds like to defend abortion from these people. I don't call them pro-life. I call them forced birth advocates. Yeah. They don't know what it's like to actually get in the trenches and fight the moral war against the forced birth advocates for our constitutional soul. And so my book kind of tries to teach people how to do that.
And by the way, your piece, No Attack on Voting Rights, is too racist for the Supreme Court. Goes to every point you make about why we need to expand the Supreme Court. But you talk about the Alabama redistricting map. You just said we're back to the Jim Crow era, and not just in terms of the laws states are passing against the franchise, but also in how the Supreme Court refuses to enforce constitutional amendments prohibiting apartheid. That law reminds me of, remember the judge that said it targets people of color with surgical precision. You said 5 of the conservatives voted to reinstate Alabama's racist maps. Chief Justice Roberts voted with the liberals, but indicated he would go back to the conservative side once he got to the merits of the case. You just said, good luck, white folks. Let us know what kind of country you all decide to have. I'll be waiting online to vote while white people bemoan the lack of black turnout on TV. It is depressing. I mean, where we are with voting rights. You said it. We are back. We are in the Jim Crow era with these laws.
You're such a good broadcaster because this really completely links up with what we were talking about earlier about Joe Rogan. Mm-hmm. It's these white people who think that unless your racism comes with a side of vigilante violence, then it's not really racist. The reason why I'm saying this is a direct one-to-one correlation with Jim Crow laws and with what the court did during the Jim Crow era is because intellectually, this is the same decision as a Plessy v. Ferguson. It's a decision to allow states' rights, the argument for states' rights, the argument that states are free with very limited restrictions to do whatever they want within the borders of their own state, to trump constitutional principles like equality and fairness and the 15th Amendment's right to vote. Now, some white people have reacted to me saying like this is not at all like Jim Crow because all they can see is the vigilante violence around Jim Crow. But the vigilante violence around Jim Crow was simply enforcing the racist rules that legislatures and courts already authorized, right? You got in trouble, you got beaten by Jim Crow during the Jim Crow era by trying to violate the laws and the racist laws and restrictions placed upon you by the white people. And the court right now is authorizing the same racist laws and restrictions. Yeah. We haven't yet, in every situation, seen the violence yet. But just because the violence hasn't come yet doesn't mean that the laws aren't every bit as racist.
Yep. I always want to go along with you real quick. I'm glad your eyes did not roll entirely back in your head as you followed Peter Navarro directly yesterday on Ari Melber's show. But first of all, why does he keep going on Ari Melber's show? And secondly, like Are we going to see justice? These people keep going on television and admitting their crimes.
They keep going on television and confessing crimes. They're basically Daniel Day-Lewis, right? I have abandoned my boy. I've abandoned, and nothing ever happens to them. So Peter Navarro made very bad arguments, and I tried to explain to the viewers who just had to see it, like, why those arguments were so bad. But, like, you know what? It's the person that I hoped was watching that segment was Merrick Garland.
Thank you. Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Like,
all right.
I hope that someday Merrick Garland decides that all this criming that's happening in plain sight deserves some Department of Justice attention. That's all I can hope for.
Yep, there you go. Elie, fantastic as always. I always wish we had you longer. Please get the book, Allow Me to Retort, available for pre-order now. We'll talk to you, I'm sure, before it comes out. Thanks, honey.